So the Browns could be in the market for a cornerback. Now, I already talked about J.C. Horn, who might be one of my favorite cornerbacks, but I've also mentioned that I think it would take a trade up to get J.C. Horn. So who is a cornerback that could be available at 26 that also could fill the need for the Cleveland Browns? Well, let's talk about Greg Newsome, cornerback out of Northwestern. Before I get into that, I want to make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell so you can be notified. Also, so you don't miss out on the first 2 days of the draft coverage that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be live streaming during the draft, live reacting, all of those things. So if you don't want to miss the live analysis, live breakdowns, live reactions during this year's draft, which is bound to be a crazy one with all the things and all the rumors going on, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ding that notification bell so you can be notified when I go live. Also, I got to give a shout out to the patreon.com dog tech tier members. And as always, start with Michael Matique, the most dangerous man in Cleveland, DJ Marino V, Cleveland Cart, Matt H, Greedy Shoulder, Gemini, Liam Freeman, Fight Dirty 74, Yo-Yo, Matt Lloyd, Paul Wilcox, Hundo, Magnifico, Rob Ferron, Kyle Stouffer, Lukey from Munich, Deveroff, J Guy 101, Musty Taco, Joe Bobby, Brad Cabo, Dylon W, James McGinty, Arinda Hall, Rex Kaufman, Chad Gimme, David Maldonado, Andrew Sadeo, Dylan Hill, Josh Bendor, Jalil Salim Jr., Martha Crustnut, Mark M, TJ Showman, Stuart Moore, Bubba Regretti, Anthony O, Cleveland BCI, Robert Jermaine Jr., Dave Mike May, John Cummings, Andrew Hirsch, Curtis Bear, Batman Rush Sharir, Barack Kumar, John Albert, Beerman 069, Masayua, Buds of Roland, James Nemo, Mac House, Reeve Hurst, Philip Wilcoxon, Marie Vibert, Keith Anderson, Sean Barron, Goggles Bizano, Corporal Nick Lopez, Dom Gazillo, Nick Nasty, Ian Williker, Colin 216, Anthony Latham, Christian Madmon, Dave Strong, Michael Stone, Soul Train, Charles Work, Billy, Michael Holdenack, Most Gentry, Austin Z, Mark Burnett II, Andre Griffin, Otis Wolf, IT Rex, Greg Ehlers, Austin Boland, Kirkabard, Jesus Serrano, Chris Fawn, Pickdown, Browns Backers, Mark Kahn, Johan Hulf, Kevin Johnson, Max Aldojo, and Water Bear Marketing. Again, guys, thank you so much for the support. Now let's talk about Greg Newsome. All right, man, Greg Newsome time. It's time to check out Greg Newsome, number 2 out of Northwestern. That's the team in the white and the black here going up against Purdue. And look, y'all, I got actual coaches film for this one. Now, I got lucky. Somebody uploaded this on the YouTube, so shout out to that channel that had it up there. And if you want to watch the whole game, check it out. I'll try to remember to leave a link in the description so you can check this out yourself. But Greg Newsome, he's an interesting guy because the Browns are going to be looking for a corner, and he's one of the corners that might be available back there. You know, some people think he plays a little similar to Denzel Ward, but he's a good prospect, and, you know, let's check him out and see what he has. And we're going to go into his game film, and this is why I'm so happy to have the all 22, because I think I tried to do a J.C. Horn one. It's just difficult when you don't have the coach's film, because the broadcast area kind of cuts out where these boundary corners usually are. So that being said, let's look at Greg Newsome. In this first play right here, he's just kind of covering deep. They decide to test him, and he almost gets a pick. Now, what you'll see in Northwestern a lot is something that, you know, it might drive Browns fans crazy, but they did this a lot last year too. They have him, instead of just manning up a lot, he plays a lot of zone, right? So this one, I think it's like a cover 2, but he's just following all the way if that guy goes deep. The Greg Newsome film is going to be interesting because, you know, a lot of things that they do at Northwestern that we feel like kind of limits what Greedy and Denzel can do are the same thing that the Browns do. So in a way, it's kind of frustrating, but also in another way, it shows that he's kind of a fit because he did this well at Northwestern. But I think he could be better if you just ask him to man up. I love his awareness, though, right? I think the one thing that the zone heavy scheme there at Northwestern showed is that this man is really aware, right? He always has his eyes in the backfield. He's not really ever lost on the play. I know when we watched J.C. Horn had the habit of just getting so tunnel vision up on who his man is that he gets lost. It's not the case here for him. You see him, he's about to come out here and stop this run before it gets a first down. It's a good play by Greg Newsome, you know. And he's a good tackler, right? J.C. Horn does not tackle that well. He doesn't cover as well as J.C. Horn, now let me be fair. But he also tackles better than J.C. Horn. Again, just better technique. You see how he's just not going for ankles and everything. Again, another play here where he's kind of in his zone, keeps his eyes in the backfield. He's playing this part of the field, so he's watching the flat, and he's able to crash down and be really aware of this check down or screen or whatever they're trying to do, and pretty much just stop it for almost less than a yard. So good on him. Again, he has great awareness. I love his awareness. He's somebody who, if J.C. Horn bugs you, because J.C. Horn sometimes don't ever look back for the ball, he's just really focused on his guy. You would like Greg Newsome, because Greg Newsome does not have those issues. Now, he's not the monster that J.C. Horn is in man coverage. He's pretty good in man coverage, but he's not J.C. Horn. But he's also really aware, astute, and he doesn't get lost, so you can play better team defense. That's why he's a really good fit for cornerback too, especially for the Cleveland Browns. But we got Denzel already, who we can just put man on whoever we need to. The next play right here is that I want you to see kind of his physicality. He's going to get to the top of this route. This wide receiver is going to really try to bump him off this route late. He should have got a flag called on him. But you see how he sticks with it, and then almost gets a hand in there. I think he actually gets called for a penalty there. I'm going to say that's a BS penalty, because if you look at it from this angle, he ain't do nothing. Dude just fell. Dude fell because he tried to push him with everything that he had on the top of his route, and he didn't get nowhere, so he just kind of stumbled, and they called a penalty. But I think that's a good play for Greg Newsome. And again, my favorite thing about Greg Newsome, and I believe he is here, let me help y'all out, is his awareness and his ability to be versatile. He's somebody that you don't have to worry about what the situation is. If he's out there, if they run a play to him, he's going to be competent no matter what. And a lot of that has to do with his eyes and his hands just always being in the right place. So he can do zone, he can do man. You see right here, he kind of just puts his body right here in the right place with number 3, kind of boxes him out and gets physical when he can. It's a great play. It's a great play by Greg Newsome. And he dominated number 3. Number 3 is a decent wide receiver. I don't know his name, but he's a decent wide receiver. He's coming back to Purdue next year. But you see the eyes? You see the eyes? He's tracking the ball. Once he sees the ball is within a catchable range, he gets his hand out. And then once he sees that ball is past number 3, he just pushes him down. That's amazing awareness. That's what you like to see. And that's a great trait for a defensive back. Another example of him doing this, right? Just eyes, hands, right place. He never gets lost in the route, right? Because we saw this, right? When the Browns played the Bengals, or when a lot of teams tried to cover Rashard Higgins in the NFL, what happened a lot of the time, right? The Browns were able to go back shoulder because they knew that DB was never going to look back. And at the bottom of your screen, you can see Greg Newsome. He gets contact. He feels 3 slowing down. He checks back for the ball, and he makes a play on it instead of getting a play made on him. That's a really important trait for a defensive back to have. And some guys do it, some guys don't, even at the NFL level, right? His eyes are always on the football. He has a great combination, knowing where his body has to be instinctually, but also having his eyes on the football. Right, he does not lose track of where the ball could be coming from, which a lot of corners have that issue with, especially in the NFL. Again, here, just look at the nice hips and then the agility to kind of go underneath, and he almost picks that off. You don't see it here. Again, just kind of gets inside, baits the quarterback that looks a little open, and then he kind of gets in there, forces it out. Again, physical to the end. He's not J.C. Horn, where J.C. Horn ready to fight out there, but he's physical enough. This is another one, Greg Newsome just being aware. A lot of guys would just be locked on the 3 right here. He's already got his eyes in the backfield. He sees where the ball is, and again, he makes a play on it. He's not going to get back shouldered like a lot of DBs do, and that's good. Now, Greg sometimes gets into trouble with penalties, right? This one is just an obvious penalty where he kind of just got beat. Realized he didn't have safety help and just took the penalty, right? He got beat, played way too close on that one, got beat. Safety, I don't know what he's doing, but he ain't helping, right? That safety's not going to help at the top of your screen. And he kind of just decides, I'm going to hold you and get this flag and not let you catch it. But it almost backfires because he almost caught that ball. He needed to hold a little harder, but yeah, he got beat on that one. Usually that kind of stuff also makes people question if he has long speed, but I think he tested well, so I don't think long speed is an issue. This is a clip of him in the end zone. This is why I think he could be a really good man eater, especially in like short yardage situations. You know, and that's really somewhere where the Browns struggled last year, not having enough dudes who could play man in short yardage situations, especially DBs. It really bit them in the butt last year. But you look at it, Greg Newsome, let me make sure I highlight him because y'all might be getting lost here. But this is Greg Newsome right here, top of your screen. And he just kind of eats this man up. Like he's been doing the whole game, right? Just that man ain't going nowhere. Number 3 is going nowhere. So he's a man eater. Like this is a guy I think who can play a lot of man in the NFL if you really want him to. He can also play zone. He's aware enough to play zone. Right? Some corners have that issue. I would be a little bit worried about J.C. Horn having that issue in a zone-heavy scheme. You know, we all saw what Justin Gilbert and his issues in the zone-heavy scheme as well. And the Browns do run a lot of zone. Like, that just is what it is. They're going to run zone a lot. So, man isn't everything, but it's nice to have somebody who can do that, right? Look at the bottom of your screen. Number 2 and number 3. Our guys in white, again, hips, force outside, and you ain't getting nothing. I'm going to engage right there. You ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting that first down. Now, that dude got the first down, but Gregory Newsome ain't guarding that dude. Also, another thing that's nice to see here is Greg kind of working on the tight end, right? Doesn't get out physical here at the top of the route, almost makes a play. So you can feel comfortable that if you need to move him around on the field, he can move wherever he needs to be. I like Gregory Newsome a lot. Where would I rank him in DBs? Well, that video is coming out later this week, but I think he's one of my favorites. Again, this is somebody who I would say there is a trade-up packet for the Cleveland Browns, and then there's a packet of guys that if they're there at 26, I feel like you do have to take, right? My trade-up packet, and this is guys, if they fall past 15, that are realistic, right? Like obviously like Kyle Pitts and Devonta Smith would be on my list if this were like just anybody, but a realistic list of 3 guys that if they fall past 15, you have to consider Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, just because I love him, or Koramoah, my bad. Then you have, you know, a Jalen Phillips, who's I feel like the best edge rusher in this class, and then J.C. Horn, who I feel like is the best defensive back in this class. In reality, none of those guys should get past 15, so if they do, it's worth the capital to move up to like 18 or 17 to make sure you get one of those guys, because those are guys who I think are premium players. There's another packet out there that has, you know, Gregory Newsome at cornerback, Azeez Ojulari and Kwity Paye at 26 being, hey, if they're there at 26, you make a pick, right? If one of those 3 guys are there at 26, you should make, you know, so those are like different packets. I have my trade up packet. I got my trade up packet, and I got my packet of guys that, you know, if they're there at 26, I will be fine drafting them. And Greg is a fine addition to that room. Now, where does he rank ultimately among all the corners with Patrick Surtain and everything else? We'll find out later, because I'm gonna drop a video dropping my rankings or whatever of the draft. And that's my thoughts on Gregory Newsome, cornerback out of Northwestern. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But again, guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Have a good night.